So boys, Ludo here with the balance changes, the new patch. Just woke up, the server is down, and I thought, might as well use the time and go through the patch notes together, see what's new. I haven't read them yet. I know they've been on beta for a while, but I never read them beta. I just wait for them to hit live because some things might change, and I'm gonna read them now, see what Blizzard is. Are they even playing the game? Probably not. They're gonna make stupid changes, I'm sure. And what I want to see is I want to see all the classes between A and B tier in powerness. No outliners like S tier too overpowered or D tier, C tier bad. Okay, that would be like, I want to see nerfed Mistweaver, Devourer, Survival Hunter, Unholy DK, Sub-Rogue. Let's buff like Outlaw, Assassination Rogue, Arms Warrior, Resto Shaman, Press Evoker, stuff like that. Then, everyone is on the same level. Always someone is gonna be A tier, some B tier, a little bit stronger, a little bit less strong, but I think that's the balance of the game and what we want to see. Everyone would be happy then. So let's say DK. And Frost, I think, needs a little buff as well. Death Knight, Deathbringer on the Frost. Honestly, I've never seen people play Deathbringer. I mean, I've seen a few times, but never at a high rating. It's very cheesy, it's very niche. Okay. So Exterminate, that's the last talent. Damage increased by 30%. Okay, sure. Reaper's Mark increased by 25%. Sure, I mean, we are buffing that build, obviously, so let's see if it's gonna be a cheesy one-shot now. Deadly Blow increases the damage of Frost Strike and Frostbane by 15%. This is a good buff, this is a good buff. And effects Reaper's Mark grants 3 stacks of Bone Grinder. I don't even know what that is, honestly. Swift and Painful now makes Weave of Souls 100% more effective on the target and grants 8% strength. Was 5%, so pretty solid buff for Frost, Deathbringer build. But then again, Riders were always the go-to in PvP, always, for both specs. Riders, they're trying to make them close in power. Horsemen reduced by 65%? Yo, it's gonna be dead for Frost. 65%. No way. I mean, this is an over nerf. What are we doing here? Hunger Thirst increases the damage of disease by 5%. Who cares? I mean, 65%. Frost. Trollbane Obliterate now correctly becomes Frost when consuming Killing Machine. So this is a slight buff to the dual wield build. Feast of Soul now increases the damage of ruining power abilities by 10%. It was 20%. So this was the choice node I would always pick, and I would always go with this one. And this is actually nerfed to the Obliterate build, which is a two-hander build. So we are kind of going with the one dual wield weapon build now. Because we are buffing Frost Strike here, nerfing the Obliterate build, buffing it here. So seems to me Frost will be going dual wield soon. I don't know the numbers, details is not working. I don't know if this is good enough numbers, but this looks really bad for the Obliterate build. Unholy. So they're buffing the Unholy, but nerfing the Frost Riders. This makes 0 sense. Undead damage increased by 50%. White Man damage increased by 150%. Trollbane damage. So this is all the Horseman abilities. Very weird. Look, this is it. So they're buffing the Unholy and Frost is getting nerfed. The Riders. This makes no sense. So essentially, it seems like Deathbringer will double play for the Frost. Sadly, I mean. Okay, Sunline. No one was playing this. I've never seen this in my life on the Unholy, so it doesn't really matter. Vampirics reduced by 20%. Okay, this is a PvE change, 100%. Frenzied Bloodthirst increased 3%, whatever. Gift of Sunline increased the effectiveness of Essence of the Blood Queen by 80%. Transfusion now increases the damage of summoned ghoul by 10%, so this was a nerf. I mean, this doesn't matter. No one is playing this. I mean, this is a big nerf, so... I mean, you know, Blood DKs play this. I only played... Not once have I played this on Unholy. So it doesn't really matter. I think Riders will still be the play since they buffed the ability damage by a lot, but they nerfed the Horseman by a lot. So this is... maybe they're trying to make it... I don't know what they're trying to make. I don't know what they're doing here. It makes no sense. Blood DK increased by... all damage increased by 15%. Death Strike damage increased by 20%. Heart Strike by 20%. Blood Boil, Death Decay, everything is getting increased by like 20 to 30%. Crazy. Okay, so Blood DK might be actually more powerful than the Frost DK now. There we go. Frost DK. Obliterate damage increased by 15%. Okay, Frost Strike damage reduced by 10%. Makes no sense. Frostbane damage reduced by 10%. No one is running Frostbane in PvP, I think. Breath and Cinder Ghost, the Frostworm cooldowns are no longer reset after the encounter. This is a PvE change. So this is all for Frost, I think, right? So all in all, Frost. Let's see the Unholy first. With these changes, we are focusing on power distribution between abilities and talents that empower them. Some abilities, such as Army of the Dead, lacked baseline power, okay? Relied heavily on the other talents to make them feel impactful, blah, 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 blah. So they're trying to make Burst less impactful and consistent damage more, you know, stronger than it was, I guess. New talent. Psych of Decay. Festering Psych casts Death and Decay. Doesn't matter. Super Strain has been redesigned. Dread Plague now deals damage to additional enemy at 75. No one is running this anyway. This is PvE talents. Reanimation. Let me check in case some talents, I don't know what they do. Updated. Putrefy now summons a Magos of Death for 15 seconds instead of 8. This is very good. This is a buff. Big buff. Pestilence has been updated. Dark Transformation upgrades your Outbreak to Pestilence. Okay, I'm down with that. Pestilence now deals 150% of the remaining damage of plagues instantly. Again, 50% buff on the Pestilence. Okay, I mean, what are we doing here? Why are we buffing the Unholy? Magos of the Dead has been updated. Army of the Dead now also summons the Magos of the Dead. Okay, this makes sense, but still a buff. Army of the Dead has been updated. Summons a legion of 8 empowered lesser ghouls that last for 15 seconds. They are now 75% more effective than the lesser ghouls was 100. Okay, so this is a nerf to the burst. Generates 40 additional, reduced to 4 lesser ghouls in PvP combat. Now, was this the case before as well? I don't know. Was it 4 in PvP? Or is this new? Now, if this is new, this is a huge nerf, huge nerf. If this is not new, it's not that big of a nerf since we buffed the... here, right? Duration by a lot. Raise Air Bomb and Gargoyle no longer putrefy 2 lesser ghouls. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure what this means. It's like, it doesn't summon them. If that's a solid nerf as well. Raise Air Bomb, Disease Cloud now increases the damage target take from your minions by 10%, down from 20. Solid nerf, again, in a burst window. Okay, this is just a bug fix. Soul Reaper increases putrefy damage, okay. I'm not a big fan of Soul Reaper, honestly. To show disease, unimportant, Soul Reaper now consumes all available putrefied charges to cast Putrefy. This is an interesting change. Unholy Devotion now lasts 12 seconds from 5 seconds. Just let me see quickly what that is. So this does... it makes your ghoul into frenzy, increasing its attack speed and energy regen. This is big. This is big. So the Putrefy is going to be way more powerful now. All out attack, who cares, and ability damage dealt reduced by 32. Yo, this is crazy. Is this for the Unholy DK ability damage or for the ability damage of the minions? I mean, if this is the unholy ability damage, this is too much. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Scourge Strike by 28% reduced. Virulent Plague increased by 13%. Okay, we're buffing some passive damage. Epidemic damage increased by 15%. We were buffing passive damage. Dread Plague damage reduced by 15%. Okay, a little nerf to the passive damage. Rapid variant is now inherent effect for Dread Plague and now takes enemy bounding box, whatever. Petrify now summons a lesser ghoul inherently. The rest of Necromancer's cunning effects remain the same. Okay. Petrify damage reduced by 10%. Small nerf, whatever. Necromancer cunning explosion increased by 100%. So when the ghoul expires, they explode. Whatever. Not a big deal. It's not gonna be a huge damage buff. It's a solid, you know, passive damage buff again. Clawing Shadow now reduces damage of each chain of Scourge Strike by 20%. Okay. Whatever. Dark Transformation now lasts 15 seconds from 12 seconds and extended by Death Coil by 1 second. So this is a good change. I like this. It's a little bit, you know, increases the knowledge of good unholy decays. This is a good change. I like this. Blightfall now increases all disease damage by 5%. Ooh, this is a solid nerf. So this is... So this buff is actually not a buff since they're doing this, okay. Sudden Doom now reduces the cost of Death Coil and Epidemic by 15 runic power, okay. Fine, but it's not a big buff, honestly. Each unholy specific summon attacks and ability power reduced by 25% except for Gargoyle. Yo, so this was actually not for the minions. Crazy. Let's see what else. All lesser ghouls damage reduced by 20%. Okay. Lesser ghoul main target, blah 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 blah. So their abilities, okay. Lesser ghoul sweeping claw has a global cooldown of 1 second. Okay. I mean it should do. Outnumber lesser ghoul sweeping claw reduced by 30%. Crazy. Pet ghoul sweeping claws reduced by 30%. So all the minions got nerfed by a lot. Commander of the Dead now causes Dark Transformation to increase the damage of listed summons by 15%, 30. Almost getting halved, 40% nerf, crazy. Infected Claws damage reduced by 40%. Morbidity now increases the damage target takes per disease by 1%. Unholy is getting ripped. So this is all. Unholy got nerfed by like 40% on the all over the spec. This is crazy. I think we are. This is too much. I think that, and like Unholy was S tier, sure. I mean, what the hell? So we are doing this. All ability damage reduced by 30% flat on everything, and then we are also nerfing everything on top of that. So this is like a 50%, 40% nerf on everything. And this is crazy. What the hell are we doing here? This is gonna be like a C tier, maybe B tier. I mean, I know it was strong, but it's gonna be a B tier 100%, maybe even a C tier with, I don't know the numbers. We have to see the numbers, but this is bad, guys. And on top of that, we have horseman nerfs. I don't know what to say, guys. This is too much. This is too much. And Frost DK, I wouldn't say this is a buff, honestly, because no one is going that bringer. Riders was the go-to that got nerfed because of this is a Obliterate build. So Frost DK is gonna stay the same where it was. Unholy DK is huge nerf. I see it in B, C tier. B or C tier now. This is... It's too much. It's too much. But let's see. Okay, let's go Demon Hunter. Aldraki River. River Glaive reduced by 10%. Okay, not a big nerf, whatever. River Mark increases damage taken by 5% per stack, was 6%. Okay, but why are we nerfing Havoc? Havoc doesn't need a nerf. It's pretty, you know, it's a... It's a B tier spec. It's good, but it's not good enough to get nerfed. It's just okay spec. It's balanced. I don't see why we're nerfing it. Now Devourer, I want to see some nerfs. Voice card, definitely. Devourer. Flamebound has been updated. 100 / critical strike damage increased to 125%. Crazy. Was 50%. Does not affect PvP, okay. Excuse me. Does not affect PvP, okay. This is important. The damage bonus of Metamorph empowered abilities, which is the burst, reduced to 20% from 30%. Very good. This is what we want to see. Now, do we want to keep it at 20 or 15%? But let's see. I like this change. It's in the right direction. Monster Rising now grants 15% increased intellect when outside of Metamorph. Was 8%. This is good. This is good. Because it's buffing the build outside of Metamorph. Enduring Torment increases the effectiveness of Mastery outside of Metamorph by 20%. Was 10%. Same buff. Student of Suffering now grants 5 Fury per tick. Was 3 Fury, okay. This is good. Burning Blaze damage bonus increased to 35%. Was 30%. So essentially, once again, we are buffing the passive damage, not the burst damage. So we are reducing the burst damage and buffing the damage outside of the meta, which I think is the move in the right direction for Devourer. 100%. I'm not going to read all of this, it's important. Collapsed Star has been updated, no longer consumes. Excuse me. No longer consumes the required souls at the start of the cast. This is a PV change, whatever. Reap damage increased by 100%. Good. Consume damage increased by 30%. Good. And generates 1 soul fragment. So again, buff outside of the meta. Shattered Souls now have 4% instead of 8% generate soul fragment. This is a big nerf, honestly. This is a big nerf. Entropy now grants you a soul fragment every 12 seconds while in combat except 8 seconds instead of 8 seconds. Another nerf. Waste now. So they're nerfing the generation of the souls, which makes you go into the meta, which is your burst window. So they're making you go less into your burst window and nerfing your burst window, but buffing your outside of the meta by a lot. This is very good change. Precisely what Devourer needs. Okay, I really like these changes. Waste not now causes Void Ray to have 200% increased chance of generating soul fragment instead of 100% good. So you're increasing more in the actual big buttons than just passively good. Whatever. Cycle of Hatred no longer starts you with 1 stack, so this is a bug fix, okay. Revelant Pain heals for 5% fire damage dealt, okay. Stamina nerf on Vengeance. So small nerf for Vengeance, small nerf for Havoc. I don't know why, you know, no point. And Devourer nerf to Burst, and solid buff to the outside of the burst window, which I think actually will be, Devourer could be A tier now, because the burst was too much, so it's gonna drop a little bit, but it's not gonna be a shit tier because they're buffing the passive damage, the outside of the burst damage by a lot, so it could be A tier. It's healthy for the game in my opinion. Okay, Boomy. Spirit of the Ticket increases Starfall damage by 12%. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Fixed an issue, doesn't matter. Restoration, potent enchantment, increase incarnation duration by 6 seconds. Now, recently I've been playing Restoration and I don't think people are actually running, at least I'm not running the Groove build. So I'm running the Wildstalker build, and I think no one is picking this anyway. Bloodseeker wines grow at increased rate when multiple targets, okay. Rampancy caused bursting growths to have 30% chance to trigger, so we're buffing, okay. This is buff to Feral as well, right? Patient Custodian increases bleed damage by 8%, good. Fixed an issue, whatever. Matted Fur, this is the left tree absorb, increased by 100%, good, because it's kind of bad. Regrowth, direct healing reduced by 15%. Okay. I mean, this is nerfed to all of these specs. Wild growth healing increased by 25%. Who cares that we heal? Okay, I don't know why we're nerfing regrowth. It didn't feel OP to me. Balance Druid. All ability increased by 6%. Rat by 20%. Starfire by 20%. It cleaves more. Starfall, good for BG. Star Surge by 5%. Mushrooms, 10%. Power of Goldrin, that's the summon. 19%. Why 19? Such a weird number, huh? Denizen of the Dream, that's the how is it? Brightwing. 90%. Stellar amplification reduced to 16%. Okay, whatever. Meteorites, I don't even know what they are, honestly. Wild growth increased by 30%. Who cares? Rejuvenation increased by 30%. This is okay. Okay. Nice, but you know, who's gonna press this in PvP? Not many people, maybe. In rare situations. So all in all, do we have something else for Boomy? No. So all in all, Boomy, good buff. Good buff. It's gonna be, I don't know if we can say it's gonna be S tier, but it's gonna be strong A tier. Like, this is good. This is good. Strong A tier. Feral. So we had some small buffs here for Feral. 2% buff. All attack damage increased by 8%. Now, what do they mean by all attack damage? Is it all damage or all attack damage? Like, what does attack damage mean? I don't know. Is this like auto attack damage? Is this ability damage? What does this mean? I'm gonna think it means all damage. So this is great, because Feral does need a little bit of a buff to damage, like 10% definitely. Cut form swipe damage increased by 20%. Okay. Frenzy down to 20% from 40. So this is a burst nerf. Okay. Rejuvenation healing by 100%, wild growth by 100%. So we have some off healing buff. We have a buff to all damage, I guess. Add a little bit of bleed damage. A little bit nerf to all in all, slight buff, I would say. You know, with this being nerfed, a slight buff. We could put a little bit more here. You know, if we put another 8%, I think we could call it a day and say, okay, Feral is in a good spot. Guardian, all damage increased, Magnum damage increased, Lunar Beam, Moonfire, so everything got increased, and survivability got decreased. So it seems like for all the tanks, they're doing damage increases by 20% and survivability nerfs. So tanks might be doing some damage in future. Let's see. Restoration Druid. Renewing Surge has been updated. Swiftman cooldown is reduced by 15%, increasing up to 30% on lower targets. Okay. Swiftman, okay. Master Harmony effectiveness reduced by 20%. Ooh, we're nerfing a little bit Restoration Druid. Regrowth critical healing by 62 from 75. Okay. So we already nerfed regrowth. We're nerfing it more because everyone's taking this. Unstoppable growth reduces wild growth. Okay, no one's playing this. Improved wild growth, no one's playing this. Regenesis, no one is playing this. So they're buffing stuff no one is playing, and nerfing the stuff everyone is playing, I guess. Master Shapeshifter generates 20% more mana from Wrath, Starfire, and Starfish. Very, very good. I like this. I like this a lot. Nurturing Dormancy increases rejuvenation duration by up to 5 seconds. I don't know what this is. Let me check it out quickly. When you rejuvenate, heals the full target, its duration is increased by 2 seconds. So I don't think people are actually playing this, at least I'm not. Renewing Surge no longer reduced by 25%. Okay, so this is not nerfed in PvP anymore. And this is all for Druid. So Restoration Druid, nerf to healing, I would say. Nerf to healing. But buff to mana. And I think this is good direction, because Resto Druid, all games when I was playing, like it heals a lot, guys. It heals a lot, and it did need some nerfs to healing, but all the games I would lose on mana that I lose. So having some mana back is very good. But once again, you need to cast for this, so Resto Druid skill ceiling again increasing, okay? Because it's easy to heal, but it's hard to play with your mana as a Resto Druid. Like I'm not a great Resto Druid, but you know. So this is good. I like the change, and it makes it even harder, Resto Druid. So all in all, a slight nerf for the Resto Druids like me. The Guardian Druid buff, whatever. Feral, I would say slight buff, and Balance pretty solid buff. So Feral is gonna be between A and B maybe. Balance very strong A, very strong. Restoration Druid, I'd say, still stays the A tier. Evoker. Fairbread's total damage should be consistent, obviously. Panacea, okay. Whatever, that's the off-healing one talent, I think. Flame Shaper, no one is really playing Flame Shaper, so it doesn't really mean anything in PvP. Deals Firebread's damage, it's okay, so it's a nerf. So we're nerfing Consume Flame. So no one's gonna play Flame Shaper anymore. Anyway, we're nerfing it. Scale Commander. Bombardments to reduce the cooldown of Deep Breath by 0.5 instead of 1 second. Okay, so we're nerfing. Okay. Might of the Black Dragonflight increases black spell damage by 30%, was 20%. Okay. Refined Essence now increases Essence ability damage by 25%, was 15%. Okay, so I see what they're doing here. Since we have 2 Deep Breaths, which is OP as hell, we want to nerf how often we have them, but buff the damage, which I think is healthy, because, you know, having Deep Breath all the time would be super annoying for the multiple of the melees, you know. So I think this is a good direction. I like it, even though this is more OP, but you know, it's slight nerf, but I think good direction. Augmentation. Ebonite can no longer be aura cancelled. Was someone actually cancelling the Ebonite aura? I don't think so. Sense power doesn't matter. Verdant Embrace healing increased. Emerald Blossom healing increased by 50%. Same for Devastation. So there seems like they're buffing off healing across the board for all the specs. Druid, you know, all the specs. Disintegrate damage increased by 32%. This is big. I'm seeing Devastation, even though this is nerf. These two are buff, and this is a buff. Let's say it's a slight buff. Let's say it's a slight buff, and I see it in a strong A tier now. Strong A tier, like a big damage buff. Big damage buff. Okay, so for Hunter, we need some BM nerfs, we need some survival nerfs, and we need some marksman buffs. As a Hunter main, I say we want to have all 3 specs in A tier, guys. We don't want to be broken. We don't want to be broken because we're gonna get nerfed hard. Beast Mastery, Shadow Trash deals shadow damage, makes sense, but his damage has been reduced by 30%. So this is for Dark Ranger. Is anyone actually playing Dark Ranger or Beast Mastery? I don't think so. Blighted Quiver now increases Beast Cleave and Cleave. So it's a nerf. We're nerfing Beast Mastery. Okay, makes sense. Let's read the Beast Mastery first. All bore area damage increased by 200%. So buffing that. Pack Mentality now grants 4 seconds of cooldown reduction to the bar shot from 6 seconds and increased kill command damage by 20. Ooh, this is a big nerf. Ooh. This is a big nerf. All damage by the hunter and their pets reduced by 12%. Ooh. Storm damage reduced by 20%. Ooh, man. Their beast deals 15% increased damage. Okay, this is okay. Hunter's summons at 8 stacks. Big nerf as well. Okay, whatever. Direct command now benefits from bad luck. Okay. Wild trash damage when hitting 2 or more targets reduced to 200% from 300%. So this is nerf against melee cleaves. Do you have anything else? So Beastmaster, I think, I mean, it's a solid nerf. And I'm seeing it dropping from S tier to A tier, maybe a low A tier. I don't think this is gonna be worse than A tier. Like, yeah, it's a solid nerf, but it was very strong. It was very strong for the ease of play. It's too strong, you know. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Marksmanship. Blighted Quiver has been updated. Trick shots, no one cares about trick shots. Aspect of the Hydra damage bonus increased to 12%, so 2% buff on Aspect of Hydra, not big, whatever. You know, some slight buff to cleave damage. Black Arrow direct damage increased by 25%, very good. Black Arrow damage periodic damage increased by 50%, good. Bleak Powder, whatever, that's not big damage anyway, 50%, but a big buff. Packet of the Hollow Knight increases Blighted Arrow damage by 25%, okay. So we are buffing the Dark Ranger marksman, or trying to equalize it with the Sentinel. We're probably trying to equalize it with the Sentinel. So I don't see this is going to be huge for marksman. Let's see what else we have for marksman. Volley damage by 25%, okay. Trick shots doesn't matter. Aspect of the Hydra increased to 70%. This is good. It's very good for cleave damage. Kill shot damage increased by 25%. Does not affect Black Arrow, okay. Headshot increases damage, so this is we are buffing a lot the Dark Ranger build. So this could mean a marksman could bump up into A tier. We could see marksman in the A tier now. But let's see. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but it could happen. So I need to try it out a little bit. And honestly, with these changes, I might do a marksman guide next if the changes are good. If the changes are good, I'm gonna do a marksman next. So let's see survival. What do we have? Survival. Pack leader, yeah. Vibrant damage increased to 15%, so we're buffing the board damage increased. No mercy bleed bonus, so we're buffing survival. Like, I'm playing a Sentinel, so we're buffing the pack leader. Sentinel. Wildfire bomb damage reduced to 40% from 80%. Okay, this was very strong. This was very strong. Can't miss, won't miss. Tip of the spear damage reduced to 4% from 10%. Okay. Moon's Blessing now grants 4 seconds of wild bond cooldown reduction from 6 seconds. So Sentinel got nerfed. Pack leader got buffed. So we're playing pack leader now, I guess. Okay. What else do we have for survival? Wildfire primary damage increased to 60%. We're buffing it. Boomstick damage reduced by 10%. Not enough, in my opinion. 2 against many damage bonus reduced to 10% from 15%. So survival. Let's sum up all three. BM nerf. Good. From S to A, probably. Marksman buff. Specifically Dark Ranger. Maybe could go up to A tier, which is good. Maybe. Survival Sentinel got nerfed. Pack leader got buffed. In my opinion, this will stay the same. We are staying in the S tier with the survival. Very strong, looking good. And probably gonna play the pack leader now. Okay, Mage. I've been playing mostly Fire. I haven't played much Frost and Arcane, so take this one with a grain of salt the most, because those two I really didn't play much. So let's do Fire first. Frostfire Empowerment, I mean, no one is playing Frostfire as a Fire anyway. Reduced to 60%, I don't know why we're nerfing. Heatsink increases Fire Blast damage, another nerf by 15%. Dual Casting Adept increases Pyroblast damage by 15% from, so 5% buff to Pyroblast, but solid nerf to Frost Fire Blast, or whatever it's called, and Fire Blast, okay. What else do we have? Fire. Sun Fury, okay. Arcane Phoenix area spell damage increased by 50%. Not good enough. Spell Sphere chance to trigger increased to 25% from 20. Okay, this is good. Hypothermia duration reduced to 4 seconds. This is a huge nerf. This is a huge nerf. And I don't want to see this, because I love hypothermia. I love it. This is maybe one of my favorite things on the Fire Mage. Ashes of Inspiration, so this is when you get the time warp, reduced to 15% and 6 seconds. Okay. Mastery getting buffed. I don't care. Like, no Fire Mage cares about this. I mean, this is a PvE. Fire Blast damage increased by 15%. This is good. Fire Blast damage reduced by 40%. Scald now increases Fire Blast damage by 25%. This is the talent from 50%. I mean, not a big deal. And now Pyroblast getting buffed is good. Good. Pyroblast getting by 40%. That's pretty solid, and like this is the biggest nerf in my opinion. So like everyone is playing the Sun Fury, right? So is this a buff or a nerf? I would say, even though Pyroblast got buffed, sorry, I think this is a slight nerf, okay? But I think we could still say it's gonna be A tier or low A tier, okay? In my opinion. Okay, let's see Frost. Now Frost, I think everyone is playing Frostfire. No one is, I think, playing Spellslinger. Flash Freeze, so Cleave reduced to 25%, okay. Frost Empowerment damage reduced, nerf. Frostfire Bolt damage reduced by 20%, nerf. Meteor Shattering only 1 stack now. Okay, I mean, Pyroblast damage increased by 100%. Okay, Molten Chill Ignite effectiveness increased to 30% from 15. This looks like a nerf to me. Frost Spellslinger. Increased by 20%. So they're trying to equalize the Frostfire and the Spellslinger, I think. What else do we have for Frost? All damage increased by 5%, okay. Ice Lance damage increased by 25%, okay. Shatter increased by 50, okay, that's solid. Flurry damage reduced by 28%, that's big. Frostbolt by 15% reduced. Frozen Ore by 20%. Glacial Assault chance to trigger reduced to 12% from 25%, this is big. Splitting Ice causes Flurry and Frostbolt to strike additional target at 80% effectiveness. So nerf to Cleave as well. Comet Storm Shattering only 1 stack instead of 2. So even though we have some buffs here, I think this is a nerf to Frost Mage across the board. And we could be seeing Frost dropping to B tier, I think, with this. I haven't played it much, but just, you know, on the paper it looks like it could drop, in my opinion. It was the weakest out of the 3 specs, and Arcane was the strongest of 3 specs, but the hardest, in my opinion. So let's see what Arcane brings. Spellslinger. I prefer actual Spellslinger or Arcane. Chance to grant Arcane Salve increased to 25, even though it's weaker. Increased to 25 from 15%, so buffing. Cleave percentage increased to 60% from 40, buffing. Arcane Orb damage increased to 35% from 25%. Conjures 2 Arcane Splinters instead of 1. Good buff. Arcane Splinter damage increased by 116%. Very good buff. Signature spell increases Arcane Pulse and Arcane Blast damage by 25%. Good. Polish Focus now increases Arcane Barrage damage by 25% from 15. We have huge buffs to Spellslinger. Huge buffs. This is very good. Sun Fury. Arcane Blast and Arcane Pulse damage reduced to 5% from 15%. Codex grants 1% spell damage instead of 2% during Arcane Surge. Okay, so we have reduced burst on the Sun Fury build. Arcane Soul duration reduced to 4 seconds from 6. Again, same Time Warp nerfed. Sun Fury Execution now grants Arcane Barrage 5% increased damage during Touch of Mage from 15%. Now summons Meteor for every 6 stacks of Arcane Cell instead of 5. So, big nerf to the Sun Fury, big buff to the Spellslinger. So what do we have here? Damage taken during Touch of Mage reduced to 15% from 20. Room primary target damage bonus reduced to 75% from 100%. Okay. I mean, I think Arcane Burst needs a nerf. It's super strong. Arcane Cleave strikes additional target for 60% from 40. Okay. Arcane Orb increased 92%. This is big. Arcane Pulse damage increased by 10%. Arcane Surge damage increased by 25%. Arcane Barrage damage reduced by 28%. Arcane Missiles damage reduced by 28%. Arcane Blast, Arcane Explosion. So all in all, Arcane Orb grants 2 stacks of Arcane Salvo. Resonance increases Arcane Barrage damage by 8% for each target beyond the first was 5%. So all in all, big nerfs to Arcane Burst damage, big nerfs, and Sun Fury Hero Talent Tree, which for me is good, but for the ones that are, you know, enjoying that build is bad. And since it seems like Spellslinger will be the play, maybe. I mean, the numbers are looking great for Spellslinger, which is more orb builds, you know. Like for me, I like this change. I like the change. Like the one shot is not gonna be as scary anymore, but the consistent damage will be there now. Like the buffs for consistent damage are very good. So let's summarize. Fire Mage, slight nerf. So low A tier in my opinion. Frost, nerf. Maybe dropping to B tier. Arcane actually could be dropping to B tier as well, because Arcane is always the, you know, in the burst window, destroying everything, if it's allowed. So nerfing its burst by a lot could be dropping it to B tier, even though consistent damage got buffed significantly. I see Arcane maybe dropping in B tier, but let's see. I'm not an Arcane Mage, you know, big player. Actually, that's my worst caster. So let's see. That's why I'm happy to see the easier build buffed. Okay, let's see Monk. I've been playing Monk yesterday all day, especially Mistweaver because instant Q pop. So I was playing a lot of Monk. Brewmaster, Master of Harmony, you know, who cares, honestly. Whatever, I'm gonna skip this. Cake Smash, damage increased by 40%, Tiger Palm, so we're buffing the tank damage, okay, like every tank. Now, this is important. Mistweaver. We need some Mistweaver nerf because it's so good. Like, I'm not a healer main, but in one day of first time playing Mistweaver again after a year or year and a half, I'm at almost at 2.4, 2350 in one day of playing, and I'm dominating everything in, you know. Like, this is my best healer at the moment because it's so strong. Like, it's so strong. Shaman's Gift increased by 50%. What are we doing here? Cloud now increases its effectiveness by 33% instead of 50. So this is a buff to healing, but it's nerf if you're stacking for, you know, big heal with the clouds. Honestly, I think this is too big of a buff, but this is fine. I think we should, you know, this is good, but I think 50%, I think this is a lot, guys. I mean, maybe 20%, but, you know, I'm gonna play some Mistweaver today as well, so I don't care. Mistline now increases healing done by 500%. Mistline. It's Mistline. I thought it was already 500%. Yesterday I was playing, it was. That's weird. Thunder Focus T cooldown reduced to 30 seconds. Was 45 seconds. This is huge. This is pretty good. Mana T is now 20% more effective. Okay, it was pretty damn effective already. Jade Fire Teachings now increase Ancient Teachings by 260%, was 180%. Okay, I mean, this is pretty damn strong. Where the Crane transfers 160% of the damage done was, so we are buffing both this weaving and, you know, channeling, which is easier, and I'm playing that. Amplified Rush, why are we buffing Mistweaver? Amplified Rush now increases Gust of Wind healing from renewing mist by 100%, was 50%. I don't know what's going on here. We have the Serpent now reduces movement speed, so this is when you're channeling the Soothing Mist to 20%. This is, so everything got buffed by a lot. By a lot. This is gonna be an S plus tier, guys. This is insane. This is insane. This is it. Mistweaver is broken. This is the best class in the game right now, okay? This is the best spec in the game right now. No questions asked. Let's see with Windwalker. My beloved. Rising Sun Kick increased by 20%. Great. Spin Crane Kick increased by 50%. Great. I love the... when it procs. The talent. I don't know how it's called anymore. Jetfire Stomp damage increased by 25%. Okay. Flurry of the Zuen damage increased by 40%. Okay, so we're getting some buffs. Fist of Fury damage decreased by 10%. Okay. Airborne Rhythm now generates 1 chi instead of 2. Okay. Rushing Wind Kick no longer has a chi cost. Okay. Good. Sunfire. Let me see. Sunfire Spiral now increases Mastery Combo Strike by 40%. Okay. Universal Energy increases magical damage done by 8%, was 15%. Whatever. Memory of the Monastery now increases combo effect by 75%, was 25%, increases Tiger Pulse damage by 30% from 15%. We are getting some nice buffs, boys. Communion with the Wind increases the damage of Strike of the Windlord by 20%. Tiger Eye now only reduces stack down to 10% while out of combat in a raid. Now grants 10 stacks or reduces blah 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 blah. Who cares? Threat generated, doesn't matter. Vivify healing increased by 100%. And reduced by 33% in PvP instead of 66. We're getting some nice off healing on the Windwalker. This is big buffs, guys. Windwalker is A tier, strong A tier now. No questions. This is very good buffs. Very good buffs. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. I mean, this looks strong. I really like the changes, but I don't understand this. So let's sum up. Brewmaster small buffs, Windwalker very good buffs. I love them. Mistweaver crazy buffs. I don't know what's going on here. Windwalker gonna be strong A plus. Definitely, this is so good. Mistweaver is gonna be S plus, best spec in the game. Okay. So I don't know what they're doing with the Mistweaver. I mean, maybe we have some PvP nerfs in the... once I scroll down, we'll see. Maybe I'm saying too early, okay? Paladin. Retribution. It's you know, not looking great on the damage department. So let's see what do I have here. Walk into the Light now has additional effect. During Avenging Rat, Hammer of Rat casts Blade of Justice at 100% effectiveness. Okay. Okay. Fine. Nothing amazing. Endless Gleam now has an additional effect. When 2 Dawnlights are struck by Divine Storm, doesn't matter in PvP, Dawnlight damage increased by 120%. Yo. Dawnlight radiates 5% of its damage and healing to nearby allies was 8%. Okay. Sun Avatar now deals reduced damage to beyond 8 targets. Doesn't matter. This is PV. Avatar damage spell now takes enemy bonding and boxing. Doesn't matter. Sun Avatar's damage spell rectangle is now 5 yards wide. So this is a buff. Sun Avatar damage reduced by 10%. Okay, whatever. Sword of Grace now grants 2% haste instead of 5. Ooh, okay. This is a nerf. Divine Storm will apply second Dawnlight to... Okay. Fix an issue, fix an issue, fix an issue, fix an issue. So we have some slight nerfs here, but this is a lot. This is a lot. So overall, solid buff to Herald. Still A tier, guys. Still A tier. It's not gonna go up for now. Templar, an issue, an issue. Protection. Hammer of Light increased by 100%. Oof, this is big buff to protection. Big buff to protection. Let's see Retribution. Hammer of Light primary target damage increased by 30%. Doesn't affect PvP. Okay. Secondary target increased by 25%. That's fine. Undisputed Ruling now lasts for 10 seconds, 8 seconds. Seal of the Templar now increases the damage of Templar Ruling by 25%. This is good. I like this. So, like I said, Retribution was low A tier before. I think it solidifies it now into a solid A tier. Solid A tier. I like the changes done to Red. Okay. This is good. You know, a buff. We can say huge buff, but you know, just a buff. What else do we have? Oh, we have more stuff here. Okay. So Holy Light healing increased by 25%. It was already pretty strong. Like this is the second best healer in the game. Can I push it to S tier? Let's see. Flash of Flight increased by 35%. Okay, it doesn't heal much anyway. Holy Shock increased by 15%. This is big. And mana cost reduced by 20%. This is big. This is big. Light of Dawn healing effect is now kept at 5 targets. Heal increased by 10%. Okay. Liberation now causes 12% of Word of Glory and Light of Dawn healing to be transferred into damage. Okay. Shield of Righteousness damage increased by 100% and grants 140% more mana. This is good for mana regen. Okay. If you're going melee, for mana regen, this is good. Playing the Lightsmith. Shining Righteousness increased by 100%. Hammer of Wrath now costs the same amount of mana as Judgment. Okay, makes sense. Hammer and Anvil healing now increased by Mastery. Ooh, okay, reduced by 30%. Okay. Divine Resonance added to cooldown manager. Blah, 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 blah. So, buff to Holy Paladin. Is it S tier now? With most Mistweaver being S tier, no way. But it's second best healer for sure, and this solidifies the decision it's the second best healer. Like, for sure. Protection, reduced damage above Hammer of Wrath, damage reduced by 30%, okay, whatever. Quickened. Location now reduces the cooldown of Divine Toll by 30 seconds, was 15 seconds, this is good. Crusading Strike now decreases out attack speed by 35%, was 50%. Okay, good. Mastery, High Lord's Judgment damage increased by 100%? Whoa, Flash of Light healing increased by... Word of Glory increased by 100%. Like, off-healing was bad. Off-healing was bad. This is... everyone is getting off-healing buffs. Everyone. Haste now correctly reduces the global cooldown after the Templar Strike or Templar Slash, okay? Fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue. Execution Sentence now deals 20% of the holy damage dealt was 10%. So, all in all, holy buff. Strong A tier. Retribution buff. Definitely strong A tier as well now. Let's see what else do we have. Priest. I'm happy with the Paladin changes. I think we kinda overbuffed the Holy Paladin. And I mean, we need some, like, where are the Press Evoker buffs? You know, where are the Press Evoker buffs? Let's see the Shaman buffs, but the Press Evoker didn't get any buffs. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Okay, let's see the Priest. Where am I? Hero Talents, Archon, Holy. Power Surges increase the healing spells by Surge of Light by 5%, was 15%. Halo healing reduced. Why are we nerfing Holy? Like, it's solid. It's okay. But it's like a... Like, Mistweaver is better, Holy Paladin is better, Resto Druid is better, Disc is better. Like, Disc and Holy are, like, you know, they are like an A, B tier, you know? Something in between. So I don't know why I'm nerfing Holy. It makes no sense. Halo damage increased by 50% on Shadow. This is great. But Shadow is doing very solid damage already. So, no, you know. Let's see Oracle. Oracle is the way to go with Discipline now. So Prompt Prognosis increases Penance first ball by 125%, was 200%. Okay. Oracle was very strong. So we are having some slight nerfs. Prophet's Atonement healing from 15%, 15 from 20%. So we're nerfing both Holy and Discipline. Interesting. For now. Void Weaver, collapsing Void damage increased by 33%, and Tropic by 60%. Void Weaver does need some buffs, definitely. It's very weak. I played it, it's like, it's so bad. Shadow. Void Heart now increases Shadow damage by 5% instead of 10. Void Tarren damage from 30% from down to from 50%. Like, whew, it's getting butchered. Increase the damage of Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain by 20% down from 35. Shadow Word Pain and Tropic Rift to deal damage 15% more often, down from 25. Whoa. So the Void Weaver got nerfed a lot. A lot. Seems like the Archon will be the way to go, 100%. Plus, Shackle Undead, no one cares. Discipline. Atonement healing heals for 45% damage done instead of 50. Searing Light applies damage over time equal to 20% of the penance from 30%. Shadow Fiend chance increased to 100% from 40. Okay, this is good. Only buff I see now. Twilight Penance no longer applies Atonement. Holy Ray can no longer be chained between multiple penances. Shadow Man healing increased by 73%. This is good because it's weak. So for Void we were good. Shadow Word Dead damage increased by 25%. Good. Shadow Word Dead deals 25% increased damage in execute range was 150. Oh, this is good. This is big. War of Time grants 10% haste. This is solid buff. Piety redistributes 15% of the overall healing was 20%. Okay. Preventive measure increases the damage of smite penance and holy nova by 15%. So all in all, we are nerfing the Oracle, which was very strong, A tier, and buffing the Void Weaver, which was very weak, like a CD tier, you know. All healing done increased by 90%. Good for Holy. He needs it. Flash heal increased by 12%. Prayer of healing increased by 12%. Holy Word Serenity healing 12%. So this is a big buff, guys. This is a big buff. They're equalizing discipline and holy now. Let's see what the shadow has. All damage reduced by 15% with Void Weaver nerfs as well. Mind Blast damage increased by 40%. This also applies to Void Blast. Oh, okay, I see. So they nerfed it here and they're buffing it here. That's why they nerfed it there. Shadow Word Pain damage increased by 25%. Vampiric Touch damage increased by 100%. Yo, this is huge. Void Torrent damage reduced by 20%, okay? So we're nerfing the burst. Psychic Link now transfers 60% of the damage dealt to targets afflicted by Vampiric Touch was 40%. Specular Horrors now causes shadowy operations to deal 50% increased damage to targets afflicted by was 100%. Ooh, this is nerf. Big nerf. Flash healing, so again, off healing buffed. So to sum it up, Shadow Priest seems like is getting nerfed to burst because it has very strong burst. So the Void Torrent and the dumping of the Devouring Plague or whatever it's called now, burst window is nerfed, but we are buffing the, you know, out of burst window with Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain. So passive damage is getting buffed and the burst is getting nerfed. So overall, big nerf to burst, but big nerf to big buff to passive damage. So I don't know what to say with that. Harder to close the games, but you know, stronger pressure through the game. You know, so maybe it evens out. Discipline nerf across the board, Oracle. So I think it might still stay A tier, but Void Weaver might go from D to C tier or B. We'll see. But it's not gonna be A tier still. It's not enough in my opinion. Even though, yeah, this was only buff to Mind Blast for Shadow. Yeah, if this was buff for Discipline, I could see the Void Weaver being good again. So, and Holy got buffed, and I think we could see it in A tier now or B tier. This is a good buff for Holy across the board. So it kind of equalized with the Discipline Oracle. Okay. Like, I played Holy a few days ago a lot, and it feels good to play. It just doesn't have big cooldowns, you know? It just doesn't have big cooldowns, but the healing output is really good. Really good. So, I'm happy with that. Rogue. We need some sub-rogue nerfs, we need some assassination buffs, we need some outlaw buffs. Let's see what we have here. Deathstalker. Subtly, Moment of Despair effects on increased shuriken store. Critical strike damage by 30% was 20%, not a big deal. All of the blood increases shuriken storm damage, so we are buffing some AoE damage here. Mass casualty now deals 70% of Deathstalker's mark was 60%. But people play Trickster, right? Fatebound. Okay, so this is for outlaw and assassination. Ravenhold Mint increases tails bonus damage by 12% was 15, so we're nerfing. Lucky Coin duration reduced to 12 seconds was 15 seconds. And then another nerf. Okay, why? I don't know. Fate in the Rhine increases the percentage of damage spread by caustic spatter by 5% was 10%. Fatebound Coin damage increased by 10%. Okay, I mean, not enough, like, it's nothing. Outlaw. Percentage damage caused by Blade Flower reduced to 6% from 8%. Nothing. Okay, there we go. Assassination. Damage increased by 13%, melee damage increased by 10%, physical damage dealt by impeccable strikes increased by 50%. So okay buffs. Doom Blade, bleed damage increased to 25. I mean, this is so weak, no one cares. Systemic failure increases the damage dealt by mutilate and ambush to targets with Garrote by 30%, okay. Caustic Spatter causes 15% of your nature damage to hit nearby enemies. So we are nerfing this AoE, this is PV. We are buffing some assassination damage, which is good, but I don't think it's enough. Maybe it's gonna be from D tier to C tier now. You know, it's gonna be C tier now, guys. Congratulations. Now, to actually be viable, B tier or A tier, I think we need 30% flat buff on assassination. Okay, 30%. Let's see Outlaw. Melee damage reduced by 10%. Are we joking here? Are we joking here? Blade Fury causes your ability to strike nearby enemies for 30% of the damage was 25%. No one cares. Menacing Adrenal Rush damage bonus affected ability with this by 20% was 15%. Whatever. Height and Rush increases adrenaline by force. Blah 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 blah. You know, it's nothing. It's still C tier. Nothing. This got bumped up. Suddenly, we need some nerfs. 8% is not enough. 8% is not enough. We need one-shot nerfs. Okay, this is still gonna stay S tier in my opinion. Still S tier. So nothing changed in the rogue. Like there were no patch notes. Let's say that. Okay, no patch for the rogue. Okay, Shaman. Farseer. Honestly, I don't know what this means. Stormbreaker Surge currents increase the effectiveness of Healing Surge 16% instead of 20. So this is getting nerfed because they're probably gonna buff the off healing. Primal Catalyst chance for Earth Living to trigger now is 8%, was 20%. So we're buffing Totemic Restoration. I don't know which one is played. I mean, I play Farseer usually. So I don't know why this is getting nerfed so much. Restoration is the worst healer in the game, so what's going on here? Elemental needs some buffs. Restoration needs buff, and enhancements need slight buffs, okay? To be viable. All damage reduced by 5%, what the hell? Light damage reduced by 10%. Healing Surge increased by 130%. So we are again buffing off healing, but we're nerfing elemental damage. Like we need some Flame Shock buffs, like reduce cooldown, respell protection. This is shit. Elemental is C tier, no questions if this is it. Enhancement. Surging Currents now grants a charge per cast of Tempest. Okay, this makes sense, obviously. Healing Surge increased. Yeah, okay. Healing Totem increased. Chain Heal. No one using that. Earth Shield. Okay. Rolling Thunder now grants the Feral Spirit when Doom wins. Okay, that makes sense. Raging Maelstrom stacks no longer reset with... Are these like bug fixes? Raging Maelstrom now causes Healing Surge and Chain Heal to gain 50% of the Maelstrom weapon benefits. Was 100%. Okay. Not much. Restoration. Ascendance has been redesigned. Immediately heal allies within 20 yards only. That's pretty close. And transform into Water Ascendance for 15 seconds. While Ascended, Chain Heal jumps to 3 additional allies with healing reduced for all jumps. Healing Wave always critically heals. This is good. And heals 1 additional ally of 50% effectiveness. And the mana cost of Chain Heal and Healing Wave is reduced by 25%. Okay, Tidal Wave returns has been updated. Okay, Tidal Wave is back. Each cast of Riptide grants 1 stack of Tidal Wave, reducing the cast time of your next Healing Wave by 20%. Can accumulate up to 2 stacks. Healing Rain increased by 82%. Chain Heal 10%. Healing Wave 10%. Riptide Healing 10%. Okay, Spirit Link more immediate when summoned. Visuals, Lava Surge, no longer when no Lava Burst, okay. Echo of Elements, change positions, Whispering Waves been removed. So, all in all, Restoration, slight buffs. Slight buffs. This is... I mean, I don't know if this is a big nerf, honestly. I'm not using this. But seems to me like it's a slight buff. Will it change much? Maybe it's not gonna be a D tier, maybe it's gonna be a C tier. You know? Still gonna be the... Actually, we didn't get any buffs for the Press Evoker, so it's gonna be at the somewhere near the Press Evoker, you know? Maybe at the same level as Press Evoker now. Enhancement... seems like a slight buff. We got some nerfs here, but we got some buffs here, and we got some nerfs here just to equalize it probably. The strong healing surges. So all in all, we have slight buffs. Nothing changing here. Elemental is gonna stay shit tier, C tier. Okay. Only off healing buffs, nothing else. That's it. No changes to Shaman, unfortunately. Shaman needed changes. All 3 specs. Okay, let's see what Warlock needs. Diabolist. So this is what Demolock uses. Infernal Bolts increased by 150%. Nice. Ruination damage increased by 50%. This damage does not affect PP. Oh, so this does not affect PP, but this does. Like, who cares? I mean, like, this is so random. Like, oh, I just decided this one is not gonna affect PP. Why? Why? Hellcaller. So we need Hellcaller buff for Affliction. Definitely. This is good. This is good. Blackened Soul increased by 20%. This is for destruction. Wither damage increased by 25%. Through the Felvine increases Chaos Ball damage by 10%, was 8%, and Rainfire. So we got some big buffs for destruction. This is good. This is insane. Could destruction be back in S tier? Maybe not, but it's gonna be staying strong A tier in my opinion with this. So we don't have any affliction buffs except this for Hellcaller. And Soul Harvester, it seems like it's getting nerfed. Shared increases master by 2 instead of 4%. Demonic Soul damage reduced by 30%. Okay, it doesn't affect PvP, whatever. Soul and like reduced by 40%. Like, what are we doing here, Blizzard? No longer affected the chance of gaining Nightfall. Like, Affliction, I need to read this. Dark Harvest damage reduced by 30%. Only one application of Haunt can be activated at the time. Creeping that no longer affects the chance of gaining... Are we really nerfing Affliction? Is this a joke? This must be a joke. Affliction is already the hardest spec. And it's getting nerfed. Okay. Let's see Demonology. So we got some buffs here. Increases wild imp damage by 35%. Oh, this is for Soul Harvester. Well, everyone's playing Diabolist anyway. Soul attack damage increased by 50%. Soul Swipe. So Demonology is getting buffed across the board on Soul Harvester, but Affliction is getting nerfed across the board. And no changes for Demo anywhere else. Destruction, we have some buffs here, and let's see what we have here. Incinerate damage increased by 50%. Conflagrate damage increased by 40%, does not affect PvP. Chaos Bolt increased by 10, does not affect. Summon Overfiend damage increased by 50%. Soulfire damage increased by 40%. Whoa. So, we have very nice buffs for destruction. Very nice. It's gonna be strong A tier. Strong A tier. Demolock is gonna stay A tier. I mean, this is a nice buff. This is a nice buff. Does this make Soul Harvester more viable? Probably. I've never honestly even played with it because Diabolist is so enjoyable for me. And I'm gonna stay with it probably if this is not broken. But we'll see the changes. We'll see the changes. Still, strong A tier. Now, Affliction is dropping to B tier, no questions asked. It got nerfed. Now, it's gonna be like a mid-low B tier. Like, why are they nerfing Affliction? I don't know. This is a crazy change. Warrior, the last one, yeah. Let's see. So we need some warrior buffs, specifically Arms Warrior, which is a D tier spec. It's bad. Okay. Demolish damage increased by 65%. Very good. Demolish doesn't feel like it's doing enough damage. Colossal Might increases damage of your next Demolish by 5%. Per stack was 10%. So 10 stacks, 100%, 50%. So they're just kind of equalizing it. I mean, it's a slight buff, but why? Okay, it's a buff, but not great. Practice strike damage bonus increased to 20% from 15%, so mortal strike will be doing like 5% more damage at slam. So this is good, above 5% buff, this is good. Arterial bleed damage reduced to 3% from 5%, okay, nerf. Okay, so, I don't know, I mean, bleed damage wasn't that crazy. Protection buff as well. Let's do the arms first. Slayer. Imminent demise has additional effect. Sudden death has 100% chance to trigger Reap the Storm. This is good. Slayer strike damage reduced by 10%. Reap the Storm damage reduced by 20%. Nerfs, okay. Arms. Calling Cyclone bonus damage increased to 20% was 10%. Slayer's Malice bonus damage reduced to 15% was 20%. Reap the Storm chance to trigger reduced to 20% was 50%. So, I mean, where are the buffs? Deep wounds with damage reduced by 30%? We already reduced the bleed damage in the Colossus tree. Cleave increased by 32%, who cares? Blade Storm increased by 30%, okay. Maul Strike reduced by 20%? No, this must be... Execute reduced by 20%. What the fuck? Is this a joke? Are they, like... Did any of them even try to play Warrior? Like, is Warrior broken in PvE? What is going on here? This is... It's gonna be a Z tier now. Protection is gonna do more damage. Dreadnought damage reduced by 60%. This is the... Dreadnought, that's the overpower. This is for overpower, right? 60%? Barbaric Training now affects Slam, Whirlwind, and Cleave. Was Slam, Whirlwind, Thunderclap. Well, this is also a nerf. Thunderclap. Master Tactician now increases Tactician's chance to trigger by 5% instead of 10. Battlelord now reduces the rage cost of your next heroic. Who cares? Like, what are we doing here? Is this it? Okay, let's see Fury. Fury. Lightning strike damage increased by 100%. Okay. Thunder Blast damage reduced by 30%. So we are increasing the passive damage of the lightnings, and Thunder Blast is getting reduced. I don't like it. Crashing Thunder damage bonus to Thunderclap reduced to 30% from 40%. Nerf. This is a nerf. This is a nerf. What else do we have? Did I go through everything? So Protection 1 is getting buffed, so all the tanks are getting buffed, of course. We read this. Fury Culling, Cyclone bonus damage increased to 20% from 10%, okay? Slayer Malice bonus damage reduced to 15% from 20%. Reap the Storm chance trigger increased to 35% from 25%. Okay, auto attack damage reduced by 48%. I'm down with that if we buff something else. Bloater's damage increased by 10%, good. Blade Storm damage increased by 30%, good. Raging Blow reduced by 20%. Rampage reduced by 10%. No way. I mean, Fury is doing good damage, but it doesn't need a nerf. It's balanced. Like, what are we doing here? Revenge damage increased by 20. Shield Slam reduced by 20. Execute damage reduced by 20. Oh, Protection is getting nerfed. Ignore Pain. No way. Feel by Violence increased. So, Protection is getting buffs to survivability, but nerfs to damage. Okay, let's sum it up. This is great. This is the worst changes in the game. Like, none of them even played Warrior in this. Like, what are they? This is so bad. This is I don't know who is doing this. Is this that grandma that's saying Warcraft is intimidating? I mean, is that her? Is she doing the changes? Is it like Warrior has war in the name? So she decided, oh, it's scary. We need to nerf the warriors. 70-year-old grandma. I mean, what is going on here? Arms got gutted. Arms is going into Z tier. If someone doesn't think Arms is Z tier, go play it. Fury is getting nerfed. It's gonna... I mean, is it gonna be C tier now? It's gonna be either low B tier or C tier. Like, this is junk. These changes are shit. Like, I'm pissed off on this. I'm really pissed off with this. I'm really pissed off with this. Warrior is unplayable. I'm not gonna play Warrior anymore. I'm done with Warrior. This is my... I'm done with Warrior. Even Protection got nerfed. Well, like, why did Protection get nerfed? Execute damage reduced by 20%. Like, it's gonna be unplayable now with like, the only thing you do... I'm disappointed. So let's move on. What do we have here? Housing, I don't give a fuck. Oh, player versus player, I forgot about this. That night, Stitch Mars now heals for 2% instead of 5%. Getting more nerfs. Okay. Demon Hunter fell scarred. Focused Hatred now increases damage surge damage by 10%. Was 50% when damaging a single target, reducing by 2% per additional target in PvP. Ooh, this is crazy. Am I reading this right? Oh shit. Fellscard is gonna be jack shit now. It's gonna be a B tier, guys, or C tier even. It's dead. The Fellscard is dead. I mean, this is very bad. Consume damage increased by 100% in PvP. Devour damage increased by 30%. Okay. Rip damage increased by 50%. Okay. Void Blade damage increased by 15%. Void Raid increased by 30%. Hunger Slash damage increased by 15%. Impending Apocalypse damage of your next collapsing star by 15 was 30%. Focus Rain now increases the damage of Void Raid by 15% was 50%. Okay, Manipulate reduces the cast time of collapsing star by 25% instead of increasing his damage done. Predator's Wake damage reduced by 15%. Devourer's Bite now increases the damage of your target take by 5% per application was 12%. Ooh, this is another big one. Surrender to the Void now increases the damage dealt with while in the Void by 10% was 20%. So you're telling me the burst is gone, guys. The build is over. The build is done. Devourer needs, like, if you're gonna comment on the build I used on the videos from my video, the build is dead. That build is like a C tier now. Now we need to craft some new build, and that's probably gonna be collapsing star build with, you know, a lot of consume devour reap damage. So that build seems dead. But I don't know. Let's say it's gonna be B tier, the class, because a lot of things got buffed. But I ain't gonna say anything because we didn't play it yet. But you know, I don't know. More damage reduced by 50% in PP. Okay. Nether Flux got removed. This is big. This is big. I think Arcane is dropping to B tier. Subtly, Secret Technique, Shadow Clone Strikes now correctly have damage reduced by 23% in the comment. PvP. This is very good. It needs this. But I think it's still gonna be S tier. But this is healthy. Totem of Rat is summoned by blah blah blah. Sundering. Okay. Spiritling. Okay. Do we have anything else? Now, guys, let's sum it up. Horrible changes. Unholy Decay, way too big of nerfs. Warrior, gutted. I don't know what's going on. Mistweaver getting overly buffed. I don't know what's going on there either. Now, I'm not a big fan of Mage changes either. So, you know, that one is okay. What else do we have? Rogue changes. Sub-Rogue should get nerfed a little bit more. Let's see what else is bad. Shaman changes are bad, needs bigger buff, specifically Elemental Shaman. What's going on there? Another bad change, Affliction Warlock getting gutted again. It's dropping a tier for sure. Now, good changes. Windwalker, very nice changes. What else do we have? Dash Warlock, very nice changes. Holy Paladin is getting good changes. Red Paladin is getting good changes. Holy Priest is getting good changes. What else do we have? Rogue, nothing really. I mean, the dead. Evoker is getting good changes. Now, Press Evoker, I forgot to say, very bad, no buffs. Press Evoker needs buffs. Hunter is getting solid changes, marksmanship specifically. Survival is getting slightly nerfed, which is good, healthy. Now, Beastmaster is getting nerfed more significantly, so, you know, maybe it's gonna drop a tier, like from S tier to maybe A minus. What else do we have? Very good changes for Druid all across the board. Demon Hunter, good and bad, and said DK horrible changes. Okay, guys. I rambled for a long time. This patch was huge, and these are my thoughts. These are my insights. And if you enjoy stuff like this, I do. So maybe this was more for me. Let me know, and we'll do it more often on the big patches, I guess. And I'll see you in the next one. Next one I might do. Maybe I'll do Marksman Guide. Maybe I'll do Windwalker. Maybe I'll do Devourer. We'll see. Now I did this a little bit longer, so you get my thoughts on the, how strong the classes will be in the future. Because I don't plan to do a tier list for until the midnight drops. Because for this we could do a full new tier list maybe, but should I? I don't know. I mean, the midnight is gonna drop in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, so maybe not. Once the midnight drops, I'll do the new tier list. So once again, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop the like, and I will see you in the next one.